marginal movers. Yeah, we don't expect anything too aggressive ahead of the ADP, perhaps even the non-farm payrolls on Friday. But for now, we can sense that sub 106.50 is well supported. An initial test on 107 now will be developed.
Like that.
Euro sterling also pushing higher, and this is containing cable, which is again finding support ahead of the 124 level. 86, pardon me, 85.90 to 86 at the harvest, and decent top. BH. So these are being.
Okay, morning, folks. Here I am, patience. Yes, indeed, here I am. Just a quick sound check. One, two, three. Can we hear me? Totally right. I forgot the drum roll. Oh, Kitchy, you're slacking. Good afternoon. So, what time is it there now, Kitchy? I should work that out, really. What time is it? Okay, let's have a look at what's going on. Pretty flatlining in High Lazar. 5 p.m. So you're 3 hours behind us in a different time zone. Hi Steve, hi Jenny. Hurry, where's the drum roll? Yes, indeed. Ooh, here we go. Right, flatlining currency markets at the moment, pretty dull. My only real notification, I think, is and concern today. I'm not concerned, but notification really is that the pound is under pressure, I think. So that's something that I'm going to be looking at and possibly talking about in a moment. Let's have a quick look at dollar index. We've been eyeing this now for a while. This is the 4-hour chart on the dollar index. We've had this line penned in now for pretty much a week, and we're still holding this level of significant resistance to the upside. Now it's old support, now resistance. So it popped in there a few times in the last few days, but has failed to gain any momentum. Quite frankly, on terms of geopolitical standpoint, there's certain concerns and risks out there, not least with the North Korea last night chucking out some more missiles, the Chinese-US summit. So there's concerns out there at the moment. That's why you've seen the risk-off trade really this week in the Japanese yen, and of course the gold market, which we'll look at again in a moment as well. But at the moment, the dollar is still does seem to be holding. I am, for what it's worth, I put a trade idea out last night's stream at 6 p.m. BST. That's at 6 p.m. London time, and I placed a short trade in the dollar yen, which we'll also have a look at the moment. But dollar index, be mindful. You can certainly still play dollar to the upside, but at the moment there is heavy resistance. So I'm mindful of that in all my trades at the moment, where I'm potentially going long dollar, and there are a few out there at the moment. Shorting Aussie, shorting euro dollar are trades that I prefer, and so the dollar bias to the upside, but I'm mindful of this resistance level. So I'm not getting too carried away about that. So you have your support and resistance levels in your primary currency that you're trading, but also have a look at the broader index. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the position here. This is my dollar yen trade. So this went in yesterday at a level of previous support. It was also a fib level, and it was more of an aggressive entry. My conservative entry is up here, but the aggressive entry was happily taken at this level here. It's on the trade ideas if you want to check it out later. So I'm short here at 110.70, so it's pretty much where we are at the moment, and I've got a stop loss of about 40 pips, and I'm targeting a take profit of more than 40 pips, 50 pips, so it's better than 1-to-1, but I'm mindful of this 110 area. If the 110 area breaks in dollar yen, drilling out to the 4-hour, to the daily 110 breaks, then it's pretty much fresh air back down, to the 109, and I mean, this is the daily. I mean, it's really, we're in trouble. I think we're in significant areas of concern if 110s breaks in the dollar yen. So for my initial take profit target is just above 110, seeing how we get down there, I might move that back down, or I might take half off and run the other half. It's only a reasonably small trade. It's only half a lot, so on this account, so it's not big potatoes. But I am certainly mindful of that 110 area of the level of support in the dollar yen. Let me just pull that screen down there. Now bond yields are holding up. So let's just pull this screen down here. It's probably got so many screens. It's oops. Okay, so looking at the now, obviously the yen has had this flight to safety over the last few days. You've seen that in the strength meter. You've seen that the yen is the strongest currency. Again, it's pushing up there again today. It's still up there on the 4 hour. It hasn't lost its 4 hour place in terms of the strongest currency. But if you look at where we are today, this moment in time, it's moving from. It's had a weaker currency on the 1 hour, but it's moving in the right direction. So it's still having that flight to safety. It's coming back in. So the yen is putting on a bit of a bid again this morning, which is one of the reasons why I quite like the pound yen. But we'll look at that again in a moment. So the flight to safety is coupled in the gold market. Now, we spoke about gold in the chat earlier today. I've been eyeing gold for a while. Okay, the gold market now is at 112.55. This is at a key level. We've been speaking about this again for a few days now. The 1260 level is a key level in the dollar index, not in gold. Excuse me, I'm full of mouthing problems today. So towards the left of the chart, the gold has a significant structure. Old support, now resistance. Is also at the 200 DMA, daily moving average, and this is a level of significant resistance. Now, I think for us to pop through that, I think it will pop through it there at some point, is if the dollar has a shakeout. The dollar needs now to shake out. At the moment, we're seeing the dollar reasonably strong in terms of its move from the downside over the last 6 or 7 trading days, and gold's followed it up. That's not a normal phenomenon, but of course, it's the flight to safety taking precedence there. So, if the dollar does have a shakeout, if concerns over China, the summit, and something comes out of that, the trade wars kick off with China, North Korea's rhetoric continues, then of course the dollar could be under pressure. The bond yields are trading around 235 10-year. If the bond market starts to push on and the yields come down, then of course you could see this gold market push up through 1260 without too much of a problem. And of course targeting the next level on gold to the upside, I fear, is pretty much 1300. So 1260, if you break 1260, you might see it stall around 1275 initially, but then 1300 is the next level to the upside in gold if we have a minor shakeout in the US dollar, or there's more of a move to risk off. Kichi, your long euro dollar. Okay, we'll look at that in time as well. Let's just have a look at the cable. Okay, cable for me still under pressure here now. Pound is under pressure. We've had the star performing currency last week, British pound, certainly seeing some profit taking in here at the moment. We're having an attempt to push higher. This level of 124.50 is a sell level. I've got it in here, 124.48, so basically 124.50 is a reasonable sell level in terms of risk reward. To retest to the 124 handle to the downside. Now, if we break this level of 124.20, then we are on our way south to 124 even and lower. Now we've got, if I drill out to the 4 hour, 123.75 is going to be tested if we break the 124.20 level. So I think there's certainly some nervousness in the pound. There are still predominantly longs in pound. There are still more longs out there, so there's still a bit more of stop shaking, I think, to trigger in here. 124.20 area, I think, could trigger some stops. So we're ways away there at the moment. We're still 30 pips away, which is 180 on the 4 hour chart. but that is the level I'm looking at in cable. 124.20, mark that down. In fact, I haven't even got a... I'm just going to put an alert in for myself, just in case I'm away from my desk. And that will ping my phone if I'm away. So yeah, eyes on at 124.20 in cable. If you were to short here, shorting here again is not necessarily a bad idea for me at the moment. Pound is under pressure. Shorting here at the moment at this level of 124.35. That's 4 hours. Let's just draw down to the 1 hour. So shorting around here for my entry, 124. I mean, shorting here, you could short here. It's not the best of entries at the moment. I think that we're in this sort of like consolidation area at the moment. We're sort of ranging between the 124.20 and the 124.50 area. We've been ranging there for pretty much all of yesterday after the leg down. So we're definitely looking for the direction where we're going to go. These MAs, nicely fanned out, point to me that the direction is still to the downside, and the stops that I'm concerned about to lower down. So entering here with a 30 pip stop gives you about a 1-to-1. So I prefer to wait for the break of the 124.20 level, or if we get back up to the 124.75 area, that level is quite a conservative entry to the downside. There's got to be some real big catalyst in pound. We have got numbers out in pound early, PMI, later PMI, so do be mindful of that if you are taking pound positions. We've got services PMI at an hour and 15 minutes away. But a conservative entry in shorting pound is the 124.75 area. So keep an eye on that as well. That's basically the pound. While on the pound, I'll skip around and go to the pound yen. Pound yen, I think this is got a nice trade shaping up in here at the moment. Now I'm short dollar yen, so I'm basically a long yen anyway. However, a pound yen short at this level on the 1 hour chart, we're right into this level of which was my entry level. So what's my position on that one? I'm 50 there. So I can take a small short in here, just a small one, so I don't get too much exposure in the yen. So I'm only taking a 0.3 of a lot on this account on here. So this is my other entry, so I'm going to place my stop in at around 40 pips on that. So I've just gone all short pound yen as well. Okay, and my stop's in there. I'll look at my take profit levels after the stream. So pound yen, still playing this to the downside. Flight to safety. I still think the yen has got the rekindling of that risk-off trade that we saw at the beginning of the week. I still think that's going to happen. I think the risks are certainly still there, and I think markets are cautious ahead of the week's data, and of course non-farm payroll at the end of the week. So happy with that. Pound yen. I think Jenny, you're short pound yen, or you're looking to short pound yen. Kitchi just sold pound Aussie. You're getting some trades off today. I'm sure, but now I'm short pound yen. I'm short dollar yen. And you're short pound Aussie. Let's have a look while you're on, so I don't forget. Okay, pound Aussie. I have my short entry in at 124.23. So 20 pips from here at the moment. I'm not short, don't have a position in it, but this is my entry of interest to continue to the downside on a pound Aussie. If you look at commodity prices, first of all, if you look at where we are on the Aussie at the moment, I mean, Aussie's had some really good numbers out, trade numbers out this week. Market didn't really like it. RBA kept rates unchanged with a pretty neutral policy statement. However, the Aussie today, at this moment in time, the 1 hour chart is showing some strength. If I look at the 4 hour, it's still a weak currency in terms of the basket, but it's heading in the northerly direction. This is on the back of, I think, this is on the back of commodity prices. You know, copper's up over 1.5% today. Oil's up. So the oil. So basically, you know, this is putting a bid, I think, for the for the Aussie at the moment. So keep an eye on the copper prices and commodity prices for the direction of Aussie, and that's basically where we're heading at the moment on the back of better moves in stronger moves in the commodity prices. And China are back in town. They've had a day off holiday, so they're back in town as well. Whether this can continue, personally, I mean, it's a nice trade for you, Kitchi. We'll have a look at the trade ideas in a moment. I don't know if it's the direction that I prefer. In terms of bias, yeah, I'm still looking at Aussie weakness for myself, despite today's move. So much so, I would be looking at the. See that there? Sorry. So much so, I'll look at the Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar. Here we go. Okay, Aussie dollar 75. Here we are. This is coming into some resistance here. And this is on the back of the Aussie, of clearly the Aussie strength. That's the the US dollar is not really moving at the moment. It's the Aussie and the yen that are moving the pound. So I'm not committed into buying Aussie. If anything, I'll be selling it here now. We've just passed through my aggressive entry, so didn't have that trade off, but certainly around here, 75.90. 75.90 for a continuation of the downtrend. Risk reward works. If you trade higher than broke yesterday's high, then of course you stopped out. So it's a very easy place to place your stops on here. Just yesterday's high, you're wrong. That's going to be a trend change in trend. But at the moment, this big sort of great trending market for yesterday. Lots of ebbs and pullbacks. Great trending market. We're having a pullback now. Let's have a look here. We're straight. We passed the 50% of yesterday's move to the downside. Next level is the. Next level is it could be a 38% pullback, which is, as I say, 75.90. An aggressive entry 76 for Aussie dollar. Broke at 76. It's significant. It's a significant level. Significant level. I'm still targeting the downside, to be honest. 75 as a target. 76. If it holds 76, if it breaks 76, then yep, you're stopped out and you're out of that, and go away and think about something else. But at the moment, I'll still play to the downside. You might find some congestion coming into any rallies from here. So I think on a risk reward play, this is risk reward. I think this is a preferred play to the downside. Now, the strength meter, of course, is putting Aussie at the strongest currency at this moment in time. But I'm looking at the longer time frames for the view of strength over weakness. Right, euro dollar. Euro dollar's pushing on, pushing up to 107 handle. Not convinced by this. Not convinced by it. The debates last night in France basically, pushed Le Pen to the sidelines. If anything, really she didn't really show any significance there, which I think is one of the reasons why a bit of risk off in terms of euro is concerned. It's showing a bit of euro strength at the moment. As we did say yesterday and the day before, with the French elections, she's still a threat. The far right candidate's still a threat. If she's blown away at the elections next month, then of course the euro could certainly have a big blip up, and nothing stopping it really up from the 109, 110 level, because that's been weighing on the euro for some many trading sessions now, many weeks. That has been weighing on it, and you might see a run up to the French elections as she wanes in her popularity, but the risk is still there. So I think that's one of the reasons why we're seeing a bit of a push through today in the euro dollar. Whether it's sustainable on today, not totally convinced. Across the board, it is. Putting on some strength. It is now the second strongest currency. Well, I mean, saying that, look at the second strongest currency, one thing, but just the trajectory of it. It's still heading in that direction. This is the 4 hour. It's the strongest on the 1 hour, but it's moving in that direction. So euro, you can't hold the euro down at the moment. So natural play then would be the euro pound. Euro pound is going to be caught a bid, certainly. Before we even look at it, we know that. So there we are in euro pound. That's the 4 hour, and we've had basically almost a 45-degree angle, depending on obviously how you space your charts out. But this is this is a good trending up market. Yeah, I mean, you've got to go with this one, haven't you? You can't fight this one at all. Euro pound on the 1 hour. Getting in here for a pullback. Well, I mean, this is a level of this level high. If we break this level here, which is the 86 handle, which is only 12 pips away, yep, we could be heading back up to the 86.50 without much clear blue air, clear blue sky. If we break through this significant psychological 86 handle. So yeah, there's no reason to fight this trend. So euro pound, buying pullbacks in euro pound at this moment in time. You do this all day long. You're not going to get yourself into too much trouble. Maybe get 930 out of the way. Maybe get the services PMI out of the way before you start playing that. But if you're trading off a 15-minute chart, playing that to the upside with a trending market like that, can't go far wrong. I don't think. Risk reward. We'll leave that now myself until after numbers. I've already got. Right. Have we looked at the euro odds? Let's pop up here. Finish off with the euro odds, euro CAD. Problem with euro odds, as we know by looking at strength, is that they're not. It's not. I mean, I know it's Jason's preferred currency. It's a reasonably good trendy market, but the Aussie and the euro are strong today. They're both the strongest currencies. So as we know, it's better to buy one against buy a strength against the weakness if you're intraday trading. At the moment, the euro odds are both basically moving in the same direction. and that's basically why we're flatlining here. You can see we're flatlining here in the in price action. So Euros, it's one of these ones today that I think I would personally be sitting on my hands. Of course, bias is to the upside, but there's better pairs to trade than the Euros at the moment, so I won't be touching that. And of course, Canadian dollar has caught a bid because of oil prices again. Oil prices are up. Canadian dollar likes it. That's it. Reading reports about disruption in North Sea oil as well. I don't know if that's significant. I'll have to check that later. But oil prices are still firmly bid. This is the WTI. Okay, up there on its own. On my chart, obviously this futures doesn't go back. This is the May future, doesn't go back further than that, but 51.39. Let's have a look here. It's quite a good site. I'm sure we will use it. I know Tony likes using this site. I'm messing around with that. We'll do that later. So oil prices have got a bid with the continued talk about OPEC and extending their cutting program, and the Canadian dollar is basically following that higher as well at the moment. The Canadian dollar's had a really good run on the back of oil prices. It continues to do so. Can't trade CAD US, but you might be able to trade CAD against a weaker currency like the CAD pound or something like that. If we look at Euro CAD again, I wouldn't trade the Euro CAD moving together. So at the moment that's still moving together. Bias, well, there's no bias for me on that. Just not even going to touch the Euro CAD. As we're seeing continued strength in the Euro and continued strength in the Canadian dollar, so I'll leave that one as well. Okay, let's have a look at pound CAD. Is there anything going on in pound CAD before we sign off? Pound CAD has got to be behind here. One hour. Well, obviously we're to the downside bias. Let's have a look at an entry on a 15-minute. Nothing's really sticking out like a sore thumb here at the moment. You know, flatlining really. 20 moving average is horizontal. My fan of moving averages not really showing very much at the moment, so CAD, pound CAD as well is something I just will leave alone as well at the moment. Right, quick look at the chat before I sign off. Band stocker, where's my stop? It's about 40 pips from entry, so it's around the 111.10 area. It's in the trade ideas. My stop is up at 111.10, exactly 111.10. Okay. Right, anything going on? What's the war between pound and Spain? I would say it's a war. Renko says, what's the talk about pound and Spain? Basically, it's all to do with a big rock called Gibraltar. We've owned the British have owned and controlled Gibraltar for 300 years. It's in the Med, and Spain have been making claims to it, like they have done for the Falkland Islands for many years. And now they're now believing that because we're breaking away from Europe, that their claims for the big rock Gibraltar have more power. So they're now trying to get Gibraltar back under their control. However, the British government and the people of Gibraltar ain't having it. Steve, do I trade all pairs as per your momentum meter, or just particular pairs you like to trade? Steve, before I came on the public forum, i.e. Forex Signals, 6 months ago, 5 months ago, 6 months ago, I've been trading for 30 years. I've been trading Forex and screen trading since about 2005, and it's only since I've come on the public domain that I look at all the currencies to trade. I normally would just trade 4 to 6 currency pairs, the main currency pairs, but now, and I don't really trade them, I analyse them, but I've certainly found that, and this is true, and this is full disclaimer here, the more I've analysed pairs over the last 4 or 5 months, the less focused I've been on my own pairs, and it's not as been as profitable for me in terms of my own. This is my streaming account, but my own personal trading. I've looked at too much, so I prefer, even with my 10 years screen trading, 15 years screen trading, and 30 years trading in general. I prefer not to be looking at too many different pairs. But I look at the strength meter, to keep me out of pairs. Now, if I'm looking at my main pair, dollar yen, for example, pound dollar, if one is strong over a weakness, then that gives me indication. So the other peripheral currencies like the Swiss and New Zealand, what have you, of course I'm looking at them and I'll analyse them, I'll talk about them on stream, but I don't normally get too involved in those pairs. That doesn't mean you shouldn't do. Certainly people out living in the Asia Pacific area like to trade the commodity currencies, and nothing wrong with that, but I personally would recommend any trader, be it novice, be it experienced, intermediate, not to be looking at 28 different trading pairs. Look at them, but certainly don't necessarily be taking positions across all. The other thing that said, the other thing that can be said, and there's a school of thought, is that if you focus on a handful of pairs, you get to know its personality. If you ask me what the Swiss New Zealand dollar is like, I just wouldn't have a clue. I just don't look at the Swiss New Zealand. So I would not have a feel for that market in any way whatsoever, But I have a feel for what's going on in the British pound, obviously, because I live here. I've got a feel for what's going on in the euro. I've got a feel for what's going on in the commodity currencies, Aussie, and what have you, because obviously that's the major currency over there, Japanese yen. So I look at the major currencies pairs, and I would maybe trade 4 to 6 of them really. Slick FX, stick to 2 or 3 things. Good at that. Yeah, you can still use a strength meter by sticking to 2 or 3. You just buy it. You just get involved when one is Potter. You just get involved when one is particularly stronger over the other. Like this week, for example, yesterday and the day before, the strength meter was just clearly showing you where the money was going. The money was going to risk off. It was going to the Japanese currency. Japanese was just no fundamentals came out of Japan. It was just basically people taking risk off their books and putting money into the Japanese yen. That was strong. So that was very apparent. So that's why we use a strength meter, buying strength over weakness, but not necessarily in every pair, but be mindful of them. I was in Gibraltar a couple of years ago visiting an old city friend. I had a great time in Gibraltar. Lovely place. So Gibraltar is funny place. Right, I'm going to end off here just by having a quick look at some trade ideas that have been posted in the room. Let's have a look. Kitchy's going to retire on the back of this one. Okay, so basically he says the comment's been removed, but you had a comment in there earlier. basically, oh no, beg your pardon, it's the wrong one, Kitchy, isn't it? You're looking at the euro short. Was this the one? Yeah, here we go. Sorry, pound Aussie short. Big run down. If we break the support zone, we catch this, we could all retire. Yeah, my only concern about this trade is the I like the trade. I'm talking about retiring. My only concern about retiring on the back of this is how much the upside has in the Aussie. I don't know if the Aussie is going to have that much upside. That's my only concern about retiring. I think you might make some pips out of it. But where can we go? Let's have a look. Let's have a look at pound Aussie to the downside. Where could you retire on the back of that? Well, are you going to retire if we hit this roadblock here at 163.50? Let's go to the 4 hour. No. No, I wouldn't be retiring on the back of that, Kitchy, but I like the trade idea, but I'm not necessarily going to get out the golf clubs just yet. Having said that, I might go and have a round later, but that's not. 16 minutes to go. ZARS is long euro US dollar for push higher. Let's have a look here. Hi everyone, we have broken the falling channel with our price action zone. Great opportunity to go long. 33 pips stop loss. Target is 81 pips. Gives you a 2.4 risk reward ratio. Yep. Not disagreeing with that. I can't disagree with that. It's a good idea. What I like about it is the risk reward ratio. If you do those risk reward ratios all year round, and and you get a slight edge, then you're going to do very well. Thanks for that one. New Zealand, Mad Max is trading New Zealand. Airbus is short Aussie CAD. I don't know if that's doing anything. Airbus, Aussie CAD. Let's have a look at it. Nice pretty chart, I'll give you that. Head and shoulders on the daily. Enter break of the neckline and wait for a retracement of 65 pips. Stop loss 195 pips. Take profit 3 to 1 risk reward. Like the stop loss. Head and shoulders, yep, got that. Yep, okay, got it. Nice trade, nice idea. Where's the Aussie CAD trading at the moment? $1.50. Okay, chaps, I will leave that there for now. Do come and I'll be logged out of the chat room, so I better get back into that. Yeah, keep the chats coming. I'll be in the chat room all day long today, so keep some ideas coming, post some ideas, and trade safe. UK numbers out in 45 minutes, and FOMC meeting this evening, minutes I should say, this evening. So be mindful of that. In the meantime, trade safe, and I'll chat to you soon. Good luck.